Good morning, guys. How are we doing? Well, yesterday was fun. I got to do the video on the seeds and stuff, which was really, really cool. Really hoping that apparently my webcam doesn't work, and that's not good. It's annoying. I'm fully aware that my computer needs some serious upgrading happening and it needs new USB ports and stuff, but for my webcam to be doing that, it's just frustrating. And it's why I'm not streaming with the camera anymore, because in the last 4 years, I've gone through how many cameras? 7? About 7 cameras altogether. Not kidding. They don't last very long. They don't hold up to streaming. It's just, even though they're supposed to hold up to streaming, and it's really, really frustrating more than anything. Anywho, enough of that. So I apologize for the quality. I did my best. I was hoping that it would work, and apparently it didn't. But most of the information's there. You just get me paused occasionally in odd facial expressions, which, you know, some people find amusing. Anywho, I was reading this morning. Apparently, science, they've done researchers at Cornell University have discovered that renaming vegetables with exciting names makes people want to eat them more, especially children. And I'm sitting here thinking, hang on a minute, most parents know this. How do you sell vegetables to your kids? You give them stupid names. You do. You know, broccoli. Is it broccoli? No, it's trees. Come on. Give me a break here, okay? And also, this whole thing about not liking vegetables tends to happen once they go to school and start mixing with other kids. Okay, because other kids will go, what are you eating? Why are you eating that? You know, because they don't eat vegetables for whatever reason. And that's where it starts. Now, I know this is where it starts. But, you know, it actually happened with my kids. Now, my kids ate everything that was put in front of them. They were eating machines, okay, absolute eating machines. And I made everything from scratch myself, and what I didn't make from scratch I brought in from work because it was left over from work, because I was working as a chef. So we had things that we could bring home sometimes, not often, but sometimes, you know. So, and depending on where I was working as well at the time, so I'd bring stuff home. So they ate like adults. And when I was running my own catering company, I was catering for somebody's, it was actually a friend, luckily, her afternoon tea kind of thing that she wanted to have. She was selling Amway at the time or something, and she wanted to have a nice spread. So I did this thing, and we couldn't find the camembert cheese, and lo and behold, my youngest, who was 2 at the time, was sitting behind her corner chair with a big camembert, and he was just chowing down into it, which she thought was hilariously funny. And I was like, okay, get that out of your mouth. But he's just sitting there with it, chewing on it like it's a big slice of round, you know, big round slice of watermelon. But that was my kids. Still is, to some respect. I didn't have many issues with my kids as far as food went. The only issue I had was with my eldest, who had an issue with peas and corn, sweet corn, but only if they were frozen. He could eat them if they were off the vine or off the plant. He was fine with them. He couldn't eat them if they were from frozen or tinned. He said it was a texture thing. I've now asked him, and he's nearly 30 now. So, you know, he's 30 this year. Shh. Oh, God. But yeah, they used to actually make him physically vomit. So, but he was also okay with them if they were in something. If they weren't a vegetable on their own, he was fine with it. So they used to go into things. I used to put them in things. But yeah, when they started going to school, and it was both of them. It was both of them. It was when my youngest went to school. Yes, first started going to school, and he was 5 years younger than his brother. So his brother was, at this point, was in year 6, and Panda was going to kindy. He was in kindergarten. So yeah, and came home one day and he went, I don't eat cabbage. I went, well, why not? And he goes, cabbage is yucky. Dude, but you eat coleslaw. He goes, yeah, but that's coleslaw. That's not cabbage. Okay, but you had cabbage last week. Yeah, but I don't like it anymore. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, hang on, but I've got things in the pots here. What am I doing? So I had to think on my feet. And I just turned around and went, well, it's a good job I don't have cabbage in the house anymore, isn't it? And he went, why? Well, that looks like cabbage. I said, it's not cabbage. He goes, what is it then? I said, it's cabbage. And he went, cabbage? I went, yeah. It's completely different to cabbage. It's kind of the same, but not the same. But it's definitely not cabbage. It's definitely cabbage. And all of a sudden, they ate it without question. Both of them. Because even the oldest had come around at this point. Bam had come around the corner at this point, and he turned around and he went, yeah, I don't like it either, Mum. Really? Funny, because you always seem to clear your plates, you know. This is the bit that my brain was like, yeah, but you've never had a problem before. And it was only, like I said, it was only when Panda went to school, my youngest, that, you know, this became an issue. So yeah, I just said, it's not cabbage, it's cabbage. And he's like, ah. So they ate it. They didn't have a problem with it at that point, because it wasn't cabbage anymore, it was cabbage. Now, these are some of the names that they've given them for kids in the schools as part of their research. X-ray vision carrots, silly dilly green beans, power punch broccoli, or tiny tasty treetops. I'm all for giving things names, don't get me wrong, but being a little bit I think patronising kids is the wrong way to go. Patronising children is the wrong way to go. Okay? And I think, you know, that kind of stuff might work on kindy kids, but once they get up to like year 2, 3, they'll be like looking at you sideways as if you've got 2 heads. So, yeah. Now, apparently it worked with, you got to find other ways with it. You just got to find other ways with it. And teach them to be confident, to stand up for themselves and go, well, just because you don't like it doesn't mean I can't like it. You know? And I think parents have to stand up for themselves as well and go, well, actually, do you know what? You're really lucky to have these. You're really lucky to have them, because there's a lot of kids out there who are forced to eat things like just chicken nuggets. And they're really, really bad for you. So their parents feed them these things because they're cheap and they're cheerful and they don't have a choice, you know, whereas you're really, really lucky and you have meat and vegetables and all sorts of things on your plate that a lot of kids out there do. They don't have that chance. And they're like, oh. It worked with my kids. That's all I can say, okay? So that's my little parenting bit this morning. A little bit of advice. Okay, so yeah, go find an inventive way. If you have a problem with your kids having veg, find a way. There will be a way. even if you've got to sneak it into stuff. One of the things that I make for my kids, or used to make for my kids, was lasagna. They absolutely adored it. What they didn't know was there was carrot, celery, onion, zucchini, courgette, sometimes eggplant, all grated through the food processor. And so when it went through the meat and everything and the sauce, it just wasn't there anymore. And they had all of that in there. So they didn't know. Because you've got to get smart with these things. You've got to. Because you want your kids to be healthy and you want them to grow up. You know, and sometimes you've got to put your foot down and go, no, you're not leaving the table till you finish your dinner. No. You're not. Simple. You know, the TV is not as important. We can record whatever's on TV, or if you're really that desperate and we can't record it, you better finish your dinner then, eh? You know? Hurry up. And as long as they know that you're serious, they'll sit there and they'll do it. They will. But you've got to stand your ground and you've got to do it, because you're not their friends. You're not. You're not the kids' friends. If your kids are your friends, I feel bad for you, because you're their parent at the end of the day. And yes, you can be friendly with them and you can play games with them and you can be like a friend, but even when they're adults, you're still their parent. You're not meant to be their best mate. You're supposed to teach them the hard lessons and to teach them to be responsible adults and to make good choices. So anyway, I'm gonna go. I love you guys. And I will see you later on. Bye-bye.